It is an historic track in the shadow of the green hill, the Nordschleife. And we have a look at the grid. J-Mo Hertling on pole position with Hendrik Still alongside. Mercedes versus Porsche on the front row of the grid. Then all Aston Martin, Jan-Philipp Springhob and Hugo Sasser. Welcome Cozy Racing by Eastside Motorsport alongside the Pro Sport racing car. Anton Abbey, the other of the Pro Sports with Joel Mesh in the other of the SR Motorsports by Schnitzelam Mercedes. Then Rafa Renhofer, Jamaica to the world. Tommy Gore for ADAC MX Motorsport. Welcome to everybody who's watching in Jamaica. I know there are a lot of fans watching from there. Luca Link and Denny Burnt share row 5 and all Porsche row there. And then on row 6 is Lachlan Robinson, a real star at the Nürburgring with Burke Besler, second in the championship, but excuse me, for FK Performance Motorsport alongside Tim Reiter. Another BMWs has Julien Potolo for company. He is in the Mercedes. Tommy Rackle for ME Motorsport is alongside Maximilian Schleimer. Welcome to Teichmann Racing from Adenau, just down the road, building a Toyota Supra. Looking forward to seeing that. Igor Litvinenko and Andreas Jochimsen line up on row 9 of the grid, and on row 10, Lewis Moser and Benjamin Silvesterson, and all BMW row 10 of the grid. Row 11, Tobias Abila Clausen has Lawrence Ruhl for company, and then bringing up the rear, Luciana Schneider in the ADAC MX Motorsport. The 4 red lights will go off, and we are about to go racing at the Nürburgring, and it's J-Mo Hertling who leads the field in towards turn 1. Jan-Philipp Springhob in there as well, just keeping close to the car that leads the way. Hendrik Still having a little look round the wide outside. The car's going 4-5 abreast around turn 1. They're going to have to shuffle back in order. Still 3 abreast around turn 2. Some of the drivers taking a very wide line on the second of the formation laps as we ride on board briefly. Lachlan Robinson, and there's one of the BMWs, Lawrence Ruhl. Now he's not going to be able to see very much there. He's picked up a billboard that's going to be blocking his vision, so he's going to have to drop to the back and somehow try and shed that billboard at the Nürburgring. But certainly fairly easy prey for Hendrik Still. This is Lawrence Ruhl picking up the advertising board. Momentum will cause it to fall off. But that's a disastrous start for Lawrence Ruhl in the number 40 car. But look at this, a challenge for the lead. J-Mo Hertling, a gap on the inside is Hendrik Still, who comes sailing through into the lead. Keep an eye on Hugo Sasser in 3rd place as well. Hugo Sasser. So having a look again, it was into turn 1 and Hertling left a fairly big gap on the inside. Remember, he's carrying a bit of extra success ballast. Watching the racing, and they are watching the full course yellow coming out. So it means all the cars need to reduce their speeds to 80 kilometers an hour. So one of the ADAC MX Motorsport cars, that is pointing in the wrong direction. Some great advertising and the way they are marketing themselves and connecting it with motorsport. Right, full course yellow ending now. So cars back up to full speed and the racing continues. If you're new to GT4 Germany, to remind you, there is a pit window that will open, getting swallowed up by the pack. Hugo, who's a very experienced pilot, a former champion in GT4 Germany, he'll be frustrated by that. J-Mo Hertling looking vulnerable as well. Jan-Philipp Springhob reported to the stewards. Right, challenges further back. Tim Reiter looks to be a man on a mission. So I said to you, it wasn't a foregone conclusion. The 4 out of 4 that J-Mo Hertling has had so far this season, now looking vulnerable. Briefly, it was Tim Reiter in front, but Hertling has got back up into that 3rd place, going very wide around turns 2 and 3. Being careful of track limits because our race stewards have been very, very hot on track limits so far in free practice in quali. The number of track limits infringements extended to a very long list. Tim Reiter, though, back to the inside of the Mercedes. So Reiter looks to have that 3rd place signed and sealed at the moment. So we're looking at the battle for 5th place. Denny Burn, good start from Tommy Rackle up to 6th place. So he started a long way back down the pack. So Tommy Rackle started down in 15th place. So he's made great progress. and is up into 6th place in the number 77 car and continuing his march forward. So great job there for ME Motorsport to the inside of Denny Byrne. So this will be for 5th place. So that is a mighty charge for Tommy Rackle. Up until now, the quickest car on the track as we look from the drone along the pit straight in towards turn 1. You can see Berke Besler just breaking out of line slightly. Across the line they come. There's Joel Mesh in the other of the SR Motorsport by Schnitzel and Mercedes as well. Anton Abe in 9th place. Besler is passed. Also Jochimsen now also passed. So Anton Abe not able to defend from the BMW, but he's now attacking back. Besler's broken clear in that 8th place. This is for 9th place that we're looking at. It is Andreas Jochimsen and Anton Abe fighting for position, joining the ranks of ADAC GT4 Germany this year. Jochimsen was a bit robust making the pass. They may decide to get involved. We look at a replay out of the chicane, and that was the gap on the inside. Jan-Philipp Springhoff maybe choosing driver we've been looking forward to seeing for some time. There's our leader first, then a gap, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, running together. Now this battle here, Joel Mesh. That's Denny Byrne there as well. So Burnt and Mesh running side by side. Mesh trying to find the route pass. So there's Mesh alongside the Porsche. Burnt has got it covered off at the moment, but Mesh putting the pressure on. Now he leaves a gap, and that's Berke Besler who rushes to fill that gap. The view from Andreas Jochimsen. So suddenly Mesh, having been challenging Denny Byrne, is going to be shuffled down a couple of positions if he's not careful. Out onto the pit straight they will come. Once again across the line they come. Denny Byrne in 6th. Berke Besler now up to 7th place, so making good progress. Joel Mesh holds on to that 8th, but for how long? Andreas Jochimsen there as well to the inside of Mesh out of turn 1. In towards turn 2. The cars running side by side. Mesh has the faster line at the moment, but Jochimsen looking very quick in the FK Performance Motorsport BMW. Back to the inside of the Mercedes he comes. Roman Feldenfeldegg has taken over from Hugo Sassa. In the number 32 car, Maxi Schreier has taken over from Luciana Schneider. Now in is the number 11 car. Quite early in the pit window, Jamo Hertling handing over to Enrico Ferderer. The driver duo who have won every race so far this year for SR Motorsport by Schnitzel. Into the pits they come. Tommy Rackle is also in. He is handing over to Linus Harner in the number 77 ME Motorsport BMW. So this is going to change the dynamic of the race. Here comes Jan-Philipp Springhoff to hand over to Storm Jördrum. I should think his heart will be racing as he watches the cars come. Good job from Berke Besler as he's getting ready to hand over to former champion Gabriella Piana. So here we go. Reiter out. He takes his seat insert with him. There's Philip Gogolok, poised and ready for action. Still out of the seat of the car. And now Gogolok jumps into the car. His seat insert in place. He's quite a lot taller than Hendrick still. So they have different seat inserts. So they're securely held into that seat. A limit to how many people can work on the car. Maximum of 3 mechanics. And they can't do much to the car. They're going to check tyre pressures. So it's down to Hendrick still to help Philip Gogolok to get buckled up and plugged in. That's exactly what he's doing. There's a minimum pit stop time of 95 seconds from pit entry to pit exit. So they must not go below that time, which is why Philip Gogolok is now waiting. He would dearly love to hit the accelerator, tear out of the pits and get back out on track, but he must not get to the exit line before the clock strikes 0. You can see it counting down on your graphic. At the moment, Linus Harner, the leading stopper, is around at turn 10 and heading in towards turn 11. The engine's running for Philip Gogolok, so this is going to be interesting. Right, out he comes. In the background, there's Philip Viskersen. So let's see. The Linus Harness car, there it is, orange and black BMW, but of course that car is up to speed, lots of heat in the tyres, like we need any confusing. And there is Andreas Jochimsen, handing over to Niels Troger, another of the FK Performance Motorsport BMWs. So the number 22 car into the pits. at the front of that particular battle at the moment. Now Piana finds a route past Storm Yerdrum. Great job from Storm Yerdrum, holding off the might of Gabriele Piana for as long as he has done in a very, very respectable 7th place at the moment in the cosy East Side Racing Aston Martin in the UK. A wonderful county. And now here's a replay of Gabriele Piana and Storm Yerdrum, and what great driving from Yerdrum. I mentioned before, I should think ME Motorsport, the mechanics there will be watching from behind a pillow. Race each other, don't take each other out, for goodness sake. Linus Harner, by far the least experienced of the two, but it's leaving them vulnerable to Enrique Federer. Federer saying, fight amongst yourselves, because I'm coming through if I see an opportunity. Now, Harner under braking up into 2nd place, shuffling Viscursion down to 3rd of his fellow ME Motorsport BMW. It was a nice clean move in the end, and maybe Viscursion decided that discretion was the better part of valor. Actually showing, no, he's actually a lap down, isn't he? So I beg your pardon, I was saying that they were fighting for position, but of course the 40 car is a lap down. Just dips a wheel into the gravel. He lost a bit of traction, but now Emil Heyerdahl, having seen Buchmann maybe having to lift out of it briefly, has the opportunity to pull alongside that Aston Martin. The backmarking BMW fancied going 3 abreast briefly, didn't he? And now through goes Emil Heyerdahl, but he goes wide into the chicane. Now 3 abreast, they really do go. So Maxi Tarillion, he might be a lap down, but he tries to get that position back and succeeds. Then to the outside around turns 2 and 3 as we look. It is the battle for 8th place. The back-marking Tarillion car getting in the way for them a little bit here. Heyerdahl looking on. There is Marek Buchmann in the 17 car. Now also there, Max Rosam getting involved as well. The various bits of contact that we saw in the chicane just now under investigation by our race stewards. Still, Marek Buchmann continues pressing on, but how good is Emil Heyerdahl, having taken over Rafa Renhofer, really in the mix here for Wimmerwerk Motorsport. Of course, Wimmerwerk last year, I think they were race winners, weren't they? It was Ferdinand Winter and even Eckelschik were winners here at this race last year. And Wimmerwerk, very much challengers for podium positions. They're not fighting for the podium in this race, but certainly well into the battle. Emil Heyerdahl with the outside line. Max Rosam to the inside. Marek Buchmann getting bullied out of the way. The 2 Porsches leave him in their wake. Now Buchmann will try and come back, but the Porsche is looking very dialed in. There's Storm Yerdrum having broken clear of the pack behind while they're fighting amongst themselves. 5.5 minutes remaining. Behind them is Joseph Ellerine. So here's a replay. Into the final corner they came. Buchmann did leave a fairly sizable, and Tommy Rackle in that 2nd place will be hardly able to believe how good it has come for them here at the Nürburgring. But no such delight for their teammates. Philipp Viscursion and Tim Reiter are under massive pressure. BMW versus BMW. It's Gabriele Piana trying to get onto the podium. And then after this, it'll be just one more corner. We saw him and Jan Marszałkowski take an emotional win in an Aston Martin at the Red Bull Ring last year. And now Philip Goglock has had to wait almost a whole year, but finally he takes his 2nd ever win in ADAC GT4 Germany. Henrik Still, his co-driver, will stand on the top step of the podium for the 3rd time. First ever podiums for Linus Harner and Tommy Rackle. Berke Besler, Gabriele Piana will have closed in on Jamo Hertling and Enrico Federer in the championship on account of that 4th place. The rest of the scores are coming through. The classification, of course, all subject to confirmation. There were a number of incidents that are under investigation and they're on the timing screen, but none involving the front runners. So